knew like the moment it happened, but I wasn't 100% for sure, and I obviously didn't want to tell my parents because that's really scary.
I didn't know what to say because she started bursting out crying, and she said to me, "This shouldn't have happened. This shouldn't have happened." She was shaking, and my first reaction was to say, "It's gonna be okay. Don't worry about it." But I was afraid to go home.
I was calm, I think. I'm trying to remember, but I was calm, and I have had the same feeling that everything's going to be fine. But at the same time, I probably, like any mom would be, hurt and sad and scared and mad. But yet, as in any situation, God is in control, and I knew that He knew already before I did, and that, like Reagan said, it was going to be okay. It was going to be hard, but I knew that He would take care of us.
This is my daughter Sabrina, who's 12 years old. I actually did not raise her. I left her when she was 1.5 years. We didn't come back into each other's life until about 8 months ago. I called Cheryl and told her that my daughter Sabrina, who Cheryl knows all my children, there were 6 of them actually, had called me from Kentucky and thought she might be pregnant and she needed to come to Tulsa and see me. And Cheryl totally supported it, not just because of the possibility of pregnancy, but because this is my daughter. It was a crisis, and we had her down here maybe 2 weeks later.
And, you know, the first thing it came to my mind, what's done is done, I gotta support her. She's only 16 years old, you know, she says she's sorry, things happen, I can't be one of those parents that throw them out on the street and say, no, I'm not gonna support you. Because I thought about my own life when I was growing up, and I didn't have a supportive mother. So I didn't want that to happen to her. So I wanted to be a supportive parent for her, even if nobody else was going to do it. I was determined to be with her from the beginning.
For me, really the main thing that helped through CPO was going and seeing the therapist and talking to her and all that throughout the whole entire situation and even afterwards. I think if I didn't go to her, then I wouldn't be emotionally stable as I am right now. I would probably be in tears, crying, and just all over the place. But I think that's the one thing that helped me the most, was that they were so open to helping me in any way that I needed it, and I'm very thankful for that.
Raising children is just hard to start with. Raising a child starting at age 12 is darn near impossible. And if it wasn't for CPO supporting both of us going to see a counselor, separate counselors, I don't know how we would make it. Jane Waters helps me retain my sanity every week. I am so thankful for CPO for providing that for me.
I heard about it from one of my friends who was pregnant, and she was 2 years older than me. And she told me about CPO, and she actually placed her daughter up for adoption. And so I told my mom about it, and we just came over here on Tuesday.
Well, we looked on the internet first, and we found, you know, CPO and Cheryl Bowman's picture, and we researched her, and we called, and we were apprehensive at the beginning because we didn't know what to expect. We never been through this situation before. So we came to the first meeting, and from now on, we fell in love with CPO because they are such a caring people. They respect what you're going through. They don't judge you. They're very friendly. I mean, I feel like I can express my feelings. I mean, anytime, and they won't laugh at me. They won't at her. You know, they're very caring Christian people, and that's what we were looking for.
When I gave birth to my son at Hillcrest Hospital, I knew that I couldn't parent, that I had to place him for adoption. But I'm from Memphis. I was living in the streets. I was doing drugs through my entire pregnancy. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know what to do. And they were obviously going to take him from me. And this nurse got in touch with CPO because, you know, I expressed that I wanted to place him for adoption. Cheryl and some of her assistants came in, and they talked to me, and they told me that they had a wonderful home for Trenton, that it would be an open adoption. I could see him, you know, whenever that me and his adoptive mother thought was cool. And then I listened to all that, and I kept thinking, well, you know, this whole open adoption thing sounds great, but of course I'm not going to participate in it. I'm going back to the streets. That's my plans. I want to go use some more drugs. And then Cheryl Bauman convinced me to go to this house that they have, this transitional house, so I could get well, because I'd had a cesarean section. Just stay there for about a week or two, just until I felt a little better, and then I could go back to the streets. And like 6 or 7 months had passed by, and I forgot that I was just there to heal for 2 weeks, and I was going back to the streets. And by that time, I had built some confidence in myself. I was going to Christian Chapel. I learned really who God was, not so much through Christian Chapel as through who Dolores is, and who Cheryl is, and who Jane is. These people loved me for no reason. I mean, they just did, just because I'm a human. Because they could get nothing else from me. My tubes were tied. There were no more kids to come from Teresa. That was it. They just wanted me to get healthy. That is just a really easy question. I would be dead. I would be dead, or I would be in prison. I'd be sitting in the street still smoking crack. More than likely I'd be in prison, considering I had a warrant. I had my 9th felony warrant sitting on top of me when I came to Tulsa. I didn't find out about it until 2 years later, but yeah, dead or in prison, without a doubt.
I would recommend CPO for several reasons. One is they do a great job in educating you both, with both choices, whether or not to whether to parent or whether to do open adoption, and they, you know, both are good choices, and both they leave up to the person, and I think that's fair, and I think it's awesome. And then from there they continue to educate you. But I also, and probably the thing that I like for us, is they offer, like Reagan said earlier, the counseling from this point forward for Reagan. As long as CPO is there, she can see Janie or whomever. Mm-hmm. And I love that support. I love that support.
I love the fact that how, you know, when I first went in there, they were like, okay, we know that you don't know if you want to do open adoption or if you want to parent, but we can show you both ways and how to do both ways, and give you the resources and the guidance of how to do, you know, if you want to be a parent, to how to do that and what's the right ways, and then if you want to do adoption, we'll provide the families for you and show you the books and all that. And without CPO, I mean, we would definitely be lost and wouldn't have made the best decision for Leighton, and the best decision for him was open adoption.
If it wouldn't be for CPO, we wouldn't be here with him. And because the emotions, we went through so many emotions, and everybody that works for CPO was there for us, in the hospital, at home. It's amazing how this organization, you know, supports you in every way.